Sitao, the challenge for policymakers in Beijing is if they do undertake a bazooka and if they do undertake bolder policy, then there is a risk that that could lead to excess, that could lead to bubbles in the economy, as it did in a post-2008 environment. So what then is the middle road?
Well, what China did in the end of 2008 was a large fiscal stimulus. I think the bazooka right now, what China needs is a more aggressive monetary easing. The objective is really to arrest deflation. I wouldn't say there's a risk of bubble. There's no risk of inflation at this juncture. But in order to do that, you also need a wider range of exchange rate movement. Earlier in your show, you see dollar yen just hitting 145. So, I mean, that's a risk. You know, that's 11% RMB is being managed on a basket, and 11% that is the Japanese yen.
How concerned are you about the trade picture, particularly in a post-November the 5th environment? And there's still a non-negligible risk, although Harris is leading in the polls, that we could see a Trump second term. And furthermore, when you look at Europe and the situation there and the problems that VW is undergoing and the possible plant closures, we were just having a conversation about competition from rising China and the automakers there. It's very clear that protectionism is going to be a narrative in Europe. If we are going down this road, Sitao, then what does it mean for China's already fragile economy?
Well, you have raised a very good question. Protectionism is looming large, not just in developed countries, also in developing countries. If you look at some comments made by, for example, Thai policymakers, leaders, I think the message is very clear. China cannot just rely on external demand. In the end, domestic demand is more important. That is why I think to stabilize property sector is a priority. At the end of the day, 70% of consumers' wealth is tied to real estate sector. And also, this is not a new issue. You need to get animal spirit up. That means private investment. In order to do that, in your beginning of the show, you show that Caijing service sector index. You need to ease restrictions in service sector. So the bazooka, which I alluded earlier, is a very different one from 2008.